Okay, so let's discuss this problem from homework 3.3 problem number 4. We want to find the function f of x which which looks like the graph given here on the right and also go through the point 0, 24. So first thing first, we can observe the end behavior and realize it looks like this and that. Hence, it's supposed to be negative x to the power of an odd function. And then the next thing we say, and sorry, I forget to mention, a problem did say please find a cubic function. In other words, it should be order or degree, either one works, of 3. Okay, you don't have the freedom of choosing an arbitrary number. So I did know it's order 3 here already. My leading coefficient should be negative. The next thing I want to say is what are my zeros? My zeros are supposed to be the point -2 and 2 according to the graph. That's where I touch my x-axis. The corresponding multiplicity, well, because this one bounced back, so that must be an even multiplicity, and the other one goes across, so that must be an odd multiplicity. You do realize they should add up to 3. So in other words, this is multiplicity 2, this is multiplicity 1. So you end up with x minus -2 to the power of 2. You end up with x minus 1 to the power of 1. So the other information you have here is it go across the point 0, 24. So it's pretty intuitive for me to say, well, your function, which by the way, you shouldn't forget, there's a leading coefficient in the front. If you go over the fundamental theorem of algebra one more time and look at what our structure of polynomial look like, there's a leading coefficient, right? I mean, just by the fact that you should have a negative coefficient in the front, you should realize right away your answer wouldn't be as simple as this times that. There must be something in the front. So what exactly is the thing in the front? Let's try to find it. It's already showed us that when the input is 0, my output is 24. So f of 0 is a times 0 minus -2, hence plus 2 squared, 0 minus 1 to the power of 1, which is supposed to be 24. So a times 4 times -1 is 24. So just want to double check. Sorry, the point is 2. Why did I make that mistake? It's -2 here. I'm sorry, it's a typo. It's a 2 here. It's -2. Therefore, a times -8 is 24. So a is -3. So I have my final conclusion. F of x is -3 x plus 2 squared times x minus 2, which is my final answer. I just want to point out that it depends on the problems we have. Sometimes I only say, okay, give you the graph. Could you please find the one structure of your function? If it didn't tell you it's a cubic function, you have the freedom of choosing this to be order 5. This could be order 3. It could be order 1. It could be order 5. And also, if I didn't tell you what's this, you have the freedom of choosing any a value you like. As long as it's negative, it's going to satisfy the condition you're given here. So you want to be a little bit careful and keep trying to think what are the information given to me and whether your function value, your function's final structure is unique or not. So just to give you a quick clarification, if my function had been x plus 2 squared, x minus 2 negative, or -3x plus 2 squared, x minus 2, or -5x plus 2 to the 4th, x minus 2 cubed. For any one of those, if you only look at the end behavior and only look at the x-intercepts, if you would treat them as 3 totally different problems, I would assure you that all the graph you end up with is going to look like this, okay? So you have no way to tell their differences because you are missing extra information. Therefore, when you try to go back from graph to identify the corresponding function, in order to know what are the coefficients in the front and what's the right order, what's the right degree of your function, you do need to figure out whether it's cubic or 5th order or 7th order, and at least one more point, which in this case is the y-intercept. I could have given you any other point, but at least one extra point other than your x-intercept, you will be able to identify which one is the correct answer. Okay, so this is something very interesting. We didn't really go over the details in class, but we did say, given which information, what are the things you can identify. So you should have already realized, given those three functions, that's the graph you can sketch. Therefore, going from just this graph, going backwards, you have no way to tell which one is the correct answer. That's why we need the cubic function information and the point information. Okay, hopefully this helps.